I've had a lot of really interesting jobs that came with very specific assignments. Like, oh, I don't know, I've answered the phone when Mikhail Rishnikov calls, except he just says it's Misha. And you have to know that he's really important. Or Paul Simon, the musician, not the senator, although equally important when they call on the phone. Or Pele. I love taking calls from Pele. So very interesting jobs, very specific assignments. And one thing that I'm not is a teacher. Now, there are lots of teachers in this room, and I respect you all so much because I am an extrovert and I am a writer, so one would think I would make an excellent teacher. And I love to do drop-ins, a day at a high school here, a day at a college here, but every day after day after day, getting up in front of sometimes snotty middle school students or too cool high school students or really checked out college students, I don't know how you do it. I have worked at a lot of schools, though. Interesting. Usually in administrative roles, often managing students as volunteers, tour guides, office help. I actually really love teens. I just don't have the stamina to stand in front of them day after day after day after day. So in Los Angeles, I was working at a private high school. My husband is a teacher and was teaching day after day after day after day. And I had 2 assigned jobs. I ran our financial aid program because we were a private high school, which meant dealing with parents and numbers. Great, loved it, wonderful. And I was the executive assistant to the head of school, dealing with adults and a lot of numbers. It's fine, loved it. So right around Valentine's Day, when my daughter Nora was about 6 months old, a friend was coming over to watch her so that my husband and I could go to brunch. It wasn't actually Valentine's Day because she had plans on Valentine's Day. So we were going to do brunch the day before, and she'd watch our kid for us. And I'm getting ready, 6-month postpartum body. I have a skirt on, which I think might get me through the day. And I'm trying to figure out what top to put on. I just have a bra on, and my phone rings. And I pick up, and it's one of the other teachers. And she tells me that the girls she's on a dance team trip with have told her that one of our students has died. And she doesn't know what to do. She's in a hotel room full of crying high school students. So she called me. But I didn't know what to do. And I gotta be honest, the kid she's talking about, he's the first kid you'd think would fake his own death. I'm sorry, there's no way around it. I was like, are you sure? And she's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. And I'm like, then I start yelling at her. I don't know if you've ever gotten news of a sudden death, but it does something to you. And I'm like, no, you're wrong. Tell them to stop saying that. And she's like, Jamie, I've already done this cycle. I'm pretty sure. And I was like, okay, I'll call you right back. So I get off the phone with her. Again, I'm just in a skirt and a bra, and I'm feeling really vulnerable, but I'm also feeling incapable of putting clothes on. And I call my boss, the head of school, and he picks up and he said, "You heard." And that's when I knew it was for real. So this kid who everybody loved, the first kid out there to fake his own death, but just for the laughs, is gone. And another one of our students was driving the car that crashed and killed him. And another one of the students was in the car with them riding a shotgun. So now I have to call the other teacher back on the dance trip and say, yep, it's right. Here's my boss's number. He wants you to call him and deal with him directly. At which point my friend, who had a key to my place, lets herself in, and I am crying, and I am wearing just a skirt and a bra. And she's like, divorce? No. So I try to tell her what's going on. I think I'm unintelligible. All I know is that she brings me a t-shirt that doesn't match my skirt, but hey, guess what? We're not fucking going to brunch, so it doesn't matter. And I spend the rest of the day essentially rolling calls. I was the executive assistant to the head of school who had just lost a student in a car crash being driven by another one of our students with another one of our students in the car. I was not prepared for those duties. And no one assigned them to me. They just happened. A couple hours later, my husband and I get back on the phone with my boss. And he said, "Is this your first?" And we were like our first student to die? Yes. And he goes, "Oh, it's my 16th. I said, okay, that put it into a little perspective. The next night, we gathered a bunch of the students at one of the other teachers' houses. And again, no one really knew what to do except to be together. But then the news crews showed up. And let me tell you, if there's an unassigned job that you want to give to me, it's protecting a bunch of high school students she loves from the fucking news. I knocked that shit out of the park. And what I learned from that experience is something I carry with me to this day, which is anything can happen to anyone at any time. And it doesn't matter what your role is if you can offer the situation something.